What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day as the pressure and pain continues to mount for Bud Light with huge boycotts, alleged boycotts in Las Vegas, Nevada, new sales numbers today, as well as the mainstream media scrambling to try and cover, to try and pretend that this boycott isn't working. They're trying to pretend that everything's fine, that the sales aren't down massively, but they are. Some places up to 35%. And this new ridiculous hit piece by the New York Times is hilarious to me, and so much more as people are not satisfied. People have changed their beers. They've moved to Miller Lite. They've moved to Coors Light. We can talk about how woke those two companies are too, but for now, Bud Light is floundering, and their distributors are currently meeting with them in Washington because they're panicked. Viral photos of completely empty Bud Light kiosks at country music concerts are circling the net, going viral. This is what happens when your company gets woke. This is the exact type of stuff. This is the exact reason I started, Coffee Brand Coffee. This is the exact reason I work only with companies that are inherently apolitical. I don't look to work with conservative companies. I just look to work with companies that sell the product, sell the best possible product, and, shut their mouths. So let's get into all the Bud Light updates. Quick reminder, the Mother's Day gift boxes, which usually sell out for Coffee Brand Coffee, my coffee company, right here in the United States, they're out. Make sure you pick yours up now. They come in a really nice glossy box with some brand new treats. Now we've got candies, yogurt covered pretzels, these milk chocolate, sea salt milk chocolate caramels. So much stuff going on in these gift boxes. Promo code MOM to save 10%. We've got the favorite kids edition. All these come with the 003, the Colombian, which is you can get either in whole bean or ground as well. Available. We roast everything fresh on demand. But if you know what your mom likes, you can also scroll down and customize it and build your own box. So maybe they don't like coffee, but they like tea, or they like flavored coffee, or they like real cacao cocoa. You can get access to all the candies here. This is the only place we're making them available right now. So you can build your own box. Get it done today. Promo code MOM to save 10%. She's going to love it. Now, New York Times blames conservatives for Bud Light backlash, of course. New York Times published a wild frame of the fallout from the Bud Light, frame of the fallout that Bud Light is facing. For the past several weeks, the Anheuser-Busch beer brand has been under intense scrutiny for partnering up with activist Dylan Mulvaney. It's been all over social media and the news. The only way you wouldn't know about the outrage is if you're living with your head in the sand. And this is what I'm talking about. It's getting this photo that kind of went viral. It's kind of a big deal, and we're going to get to that in a second. Enter the New York Times, which woke up Tuesday to take a deep dive into the situation. The publication released an article titled, quote, "Ad Flap Leaves Bitter Aftertaste for Bud Light and Warning for Big Business." And the message is simple. Conservatives are to blame for Bud Light's headaches, not the marketing executives who stupidly went woke. It's conservatives who are the issue. The article states, in part, in the following, quote, "On April 1st, Miss Mulvaney, Dylan Mulvaney, posted a video to their Instagram showing off a custom Bud Light can featuring their face, which brand marketers had sent as a part of the March Madness promotion. A backlash and boycott quickly followed, driven by a conservative media outlets and personalities like musician Kid Rock, who posted an expletive-laden video, an Instagram of himself mowing down several cases, and so on and so forth." I mean, yeah, it's the people's reactions. It's like that Principal Skinner meme, is it me, or is everyone else out of touch? By the way, we're going to talk about this later in another video. Bud Light has now gone 12 days since they tried to come back to social media, and they have not posted anything since. They tried to come back after the apology on April 14th and got ruthlessly ratioed. And they have not. It's been 12 days since they posted this, and they've still posted nothing since then. A photo caption at the top of the article also featured a very carefully crafted selection of words stated, Anheuser-Busch InBev announced that 2 executives were on leave after conservative backlash to Bud Light promotion. Again, it's just conservatives who are the problem. If it weren't for Kid Rock, John Rich, and conservative media outlets, nobody would care. Well, that's the issue of the New York Times, which did publish in 2 previous Light articles on the issue, writing, quote, Anheuser-Busch InBev announced 2 executives on leave after conservative backlash. See, I actually don't think this is a conservative backlash. Like, whole cities are boycotting this product. This is bigger than conservatives. This is this is kind of why it works when Democrats do it or when the left does it. It is a sustained machine of information, of informing regular everyday people. Hey, when you see them drinking a Bud Light, ask them when their bottom surgery is. Then explain to them more importantly, what Bud Light said about their own customers, calling them fratty and out of touch and this, that, and the other thing. Blaming Kid Rock and small, select handful of right-leaning, better described as common sense anti-woke outlets for Bud Light's issues is galaxy brain take that assumes the average consumer is an idiot. In order for people to believe Kid Rock is controlling the masses, you have to believe the average Bud Light drinker is so dumb they can't think for themselves. Well, that's what Bud Light clearly thinks. Many of you reading probably enjoyed the occasional Bud Light before the company went woke. Did you consider yourself a dumb sheep who only follows advice from famous people? I think not. Of course, the New York Times isn't interested in truly dissecting the issue here. People are offended by Dylan, who the New York Times refers to as simply as a trans influencer, because his entire brand is mocking women and behaving like a female child. This is via Outkick, by the way. Do you have to be conservative to be offended by that, or rational, common sense people that find that kind of behavior appalling? New York Times isn't alone on the issue. New York Times isn't the only publication on the hyperpartisan. Instead of common sense people presenting as hyperpartisan, the Los Angeles Times published a headline that stated in part, quote, anti-trans backlash against Bud Light has executives on hot seat. Yes, a news article featured a highly editorialized headline claiming that if you're against this insanity, you must be anti-trans. This isn't an opinion piece from the LA Times. It was straight news. You don't need to be a mega Republican to understand why Dylan Mulvaney is offensive and why the collaboration with the beer brand was a bad idea. I mean, this on top of, if you look at Las Vegas Strip, I know Tim mentioned this earlier, Las Vegas Strip appears to be boycotting Bud Light, competitors being sold out. People enjoying the Las Vegas Strip seem to be doing so without drinking much Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light have been taking nonstop fire ever since teaming up with Dylan for that video. Sales have taken a monster hit. Multiple celebrities have publicly dragged their beer brand, and it doesn't seem like anyone is interested in slowing down. Well, it turns out people crushing it in Vegas might be getting in on the boycott. Popular YouTuber Not Leaving Vegas is famous for chronicling all the craziness in Sin City. He posted a video on Tuesday night checking out a location selling alcohol on the Strip, and one thing is clear, plenty of Bud Light is available, but other popular brands have been picked clean. At one point in the video, he interviews a store employee who claims he went from resucking Bud Light multiple times per shift to rarely doing it. When asked point blank if people are buying Bud Light, the unnamed employee replied with no. It seems like there are a lot of Bud Light on the shelves in Vegas, and a lot of the competitors are being sold out. So Miller loves Budweiser right now, the popular YouTuber said at the end of the video. You can watch him chronicleize that. Yeah, shout out to fellow YouTuber. You know, the situation goes to show that people are taking the Bud Light boycott seriously. This is what happens when you upset a large chunk of your customer base. It's not like Bud Light is an irreplaceable item. That's what I've always said. It's just middle of the road beer. There's plenty of it out there. There's plenty of options for people. Now that the beer brand under Anheuser-Busch umbrella is paying the price, the latest information showed that sales are down 17% by dollars and 21% by volume. The craziest part about the situation in Vegas, other than the fact that I've been inside every location featured, is that people in Vegas aren't really taking the time to think things out. Vegas is all about making quick decisions, whether it's on the tables or at the bar. People just want a cold beer or to double down at blackjack. Nobody is debating what beer to have. Get your hands on what's available. Now it seems people in Vegas are very deliberately choosing not to drink a formerly very popular beer. Photo of Bud Light booth with zero line at Morgan Wallen concert goes viral. It goes even more insane, right? Conservative commentator Matt Walsh tweeted out over the weekend, the Bud Light executives who came up with the Dylan campaign are now gone from the company. I told you this boycott was working. We got actual results of victory for Team Sanity. Sharing the photo to illustrate the statement, a Twitter user responded to Walsh, no one in line at the Bud Light booth at the Morgan Wallen concert in Louisville, Kentucky last night. The tweet has been viewed by 420,000 people. Not a single person. And by the way, how do you think all these people who are just trying to do their job, people that work these stands, people that, bartenders, they work specifically for Bud Light. These two working here in Louisville rely on tips. They rely on sales volume. They rely on, their brand not completely torpedoing their ability to earn a living. But, Bud Light doesn't care about that. Like, legitimately, Bud Light doesn't care that these two people aren't going to make any money tonight because they got to say how woke they are. Another Twitter user sarcastically responded that vendors in question didn't sell one beer all night. The poster of the photo showed insisted that they didn't say that while offering further insight. I actually did see a few people drinking Bud Light at the concert, but there was no one in line at their booth, but plenty of other lines to buy beer from other vendors selling different brands, wrote the concert attendee. The same detractor then said when they attended a hockey game in Dallas last Wednesday, the Budweiser booth was, quote, packed all night. And then they responded, great, where's your picture? The Wallen concert attendee replied, sharing another photo. Here's another one I took from a vendor selling multiple brands in the hallway. First two buckets are empty. Last bucket, Bud Light, not empty. I mean, sure, people are buying it. Not everybody, not everybody's plugged into the social media stuff. But, I mean, when you have entire cities, you see, but by the way, Bud Light fumbles, but experts say inclusive ads will stay. Hey, I mean, that's fine. Bud Light can continue to do that. They can continue to, alienate their customer base if that's what they so choose. That's their right. But, CNN even saying Bud Light sales are falling, but distributors say they're sticking by the brand. Okay. What other choice do they have? They have literal trucks with the word Bud Light on it. Then you have, Instagram people are now shilling on this. There's a beer guy selling ultra right beer. I think that I don't love all that stuff. I think you should sell on the quality of your product, not to stick it to the liberals. But, shout out to them for being opportunistic and getting it done. You see Instagram Breeze Teresi pumps Bud Light full of lead at the range, sends a message also to a woke lingerie company, apparently. Again, these are just, I mean, I think this is kind of a self-own because you went out and had to buy 4 cases of Bud Light. So you had to give them money to film this. But it's become like the anti-Bud Light has become a whole economy in and of itself. Bud Light's branding blunder continues after its marketing exec put on leave. Bud Light pours have plummeted at bars, restaurants across U.S. beer tech company. I mean, there are certainly half of the country. There's probably 2/3 of the country that are not plugged into politics or they agree with what Bud Light was doing. But this is pretty brutal. Don't forget, non-woke company, Coffee Brand Coffee, my company, right here in the U.S. of A., located inside these wonderful, and run by these wonderful people. Sorry, we want to help you out for Mother's Day. We've put together 2 pre-built boxes that feature our Colombian roast, which is like the most, it's kind of like the most coffee that people drink, roasted fresh on demand, available in whole bean or ground. We have the Mother's Favorite Kid Edition, and you can build your own box if you know what your mom likes to drink. She likes light roast, dark roast. You want to try to get some flavored stuff, whatever. Promo code MOM to save. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you again real soon.